Hello, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Spike Podcast, an NFC North podcast. My name is Emery. Today we're going to be discussing the interesting subject of Devante Adams trade rumors. Now, for those of you who don't know, Devante Adams is one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. He really built his career starting off with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers back in 2014. And, he got off to a slow start. He had 38 catches for 446 yards his first rookie year. And I think that's pretty, it's okay. It's solid. He did go on to come up in this last 2 years of Green Bay, 115 catches for 1,374 yards, 18 touchdowns in 2020. And then in 2021, he had 123 receptions for 1,553 yards. So a 1,500-yard receiver is definitely a huge prospect in the NFL. Devante Adams is definitely one of those Packers players, or ex-Packers, but you're always a Packers player anyways, fuck it. Devante Adams is definitely one of those Packers players who definitely kind of pioneered his own play style. He's just faster, and he can jump higher, and he's always going to go up and make the catch. I think that's why he's of such high regard in the league right now. He did, unfortunately, request a trade back in 2021, because he got franchise tag contract negotiations and all this stuff, and he chose to go to the Las Vegas Raiders to play with Derek Carr, his old college player. Since he's been there, he's been arguably way less productive. His first year at the Raiders, he had 100 catches, another 1,500-yard season. That was with Derek Carr, and then Derek Carr was traded to the New Orleans Saints, and he had Garoppolo. And then that season, he went on to have 103 catches for 1,444 yards. So obviously, that's a 30% decrease from his last season in Green Bay. And he's obviously not happy. There's definitely videos of him talking on the sidelines about how badly he's been injured, and he's definitely going through a certain amount of turmoil. And I think that he just kind of got screwed. He should have stayed in Green Bay, my personal opinion. That definitely would have changed our receiver situation moving forward, but I think he should have stayed in Green Bay. With that being said, he did obviously announced that he wanted to be traded, but he did make a cryptic Instagram post the other day. He posted a picture of Edgar Allan Poe. And for those of you who don't know who Poe is one of the renowned authors. He writes a lot of gothic kind of horror stuff. And one of his most famous pieces is a piece called The Raven. So I'm wondering if Devante Adams is trying to insinuate that there's going to be a potential trade to the Ravens. I'm not sure what their cap situation is like, but the thought of Lamar Jackson and Devante Adams on the same damn team is absolutely terrifying. I mean, especially for that division. And honestly, what the Ravens are kind of getting off to a rocky start this season, I think that there's definitely that would definitely give them a certain boost. Because the Ravens have they started off 0-2. It just wasn't a good start. And with the addition of Devante Adams, I'm sure that would change a little bit of Lamar Jackson's play style. And maybe he would get some different reads, or maybe they put him in the slot, and I think that's kind of why Lamar is kind of wavy, at least in my personal opinion. And I think that with the Ravens too, honestly, that would give them a lot of necessary edge, because the AFC is a tough conference. Or at least it was. This year, not so much, but that's a whole another conversation. Except for the Buffalo Bills, but another potential trade object is the Saints. Now, if Devante Adams is allowed to go and make a reunion with his old quarterback Derek Carr in the Saints offense, with Olave, with Rashid Shaheed, a Kamara, Taysom Hill, that's. Dude, that's going to be crazy, because the Saints started off by walloping people at the beginning of the season, and they're kind of due. I think that they're definitely one of the reigning potentials for maybe a wild card spot in the playoffs. And especially with the Falcons actually having the crazy victory over Tampa Bay on Thursday night, I think that they definitely need something to put them over the edge, and this trade could certainly be that. And then the third potential, at least what I'm hearing, is the New York Jets. Now, one of the things about Devante Adams that he said specifically about this trade is he definitely wants to make sure that he goes with a quarterback he's either known or has confidence with. And I think that, with obviously Derek Carr being at the New Orleans Saints and then Aaron Rodgers being at the New York Jets, that definitely makes those two, at least in my opinion, the top two most viable things. Now, if the front office is allowed to do it, that's a whole other conversation. GM and all that business stuff is not really my thing on this podcast. But, just the thinking about the inclusion of Devante Adams into the Jets offense. Garrett Wilson obviously has a lot of talent. Aaron Rodgers even said himself. He always says it. Unfortunately, he's getting double teamed a lot with this too high safety shit, and it's really hard for Aaron to get him the ball. As far as a fantasy perspective, dude, he's not really putting out points. I drafted him in the second round like he was going to be like a top elite receiver, with Aaron finally being healthy and all. But, growing pains. Maybe the Jets will have a crazy good game in London tomorrow. So good luck to them. But the inclusion of Devante Adams into the squad, with Conk at tight end, Lazard still in the fold. Devante Adams, dude, this is like basically the Green Bay Packers from 2021. Lazard and Devante Adams and Aaron Rodgers, like, on a team with the Jets defense, like, that's a really, really interesting thing to think about. And I think that, wherever Devontae ends up going, I'm sure that it's definitely going to be more of a trade. I think they said that the Raiders are asking for a second and compensation, at least is what I'm hearing. So, we'll just have to see, who's got the bags and who can make the trade. Because regardless of which, they're going to be on the hook for a little bit of paying his money for a while. So whoever gets them definitely has to make sure that these draft picks continue to, continue to provide the same level of importance as they would for the compensation to get Devante Adams. So, it's going to be an interesting situation too, dude. I think that honestly, my personal thing, I think he's going to the Jets. I think that that's the most viable option personally. I think that the thoughts of him on the Saints are very, very scary and terrifying. I think that he definitely adds an edge to that team that definitely is warrant mentioning. And then if he goes to the Ravens, dude, I just think that that's a wrench and everything. So those are my thoughts on the subject, guys. Please go ahead and leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you like the channel, please subscribe to stay up to content. Talk to you guys soon.